Okay, all right. So we now have scenario three. Now, why are we going to scenario three instead of going straight into scenario two? Well, the attack plan, and I'm going to actually write this down, is I'm going to go ahead and follow your original game plan to navigate the sample scenario questions, which was to go through scenario one, then three, then scenario six, then scenario five, then scenario two, and then scenario four. This is the first question for scenario three. So even before we go ahead and start to break down the question, can you tell me a little bit more again about what are we trying to solve for scenario three? What's the difference between scenario three and scenario one? And you also never told me, not like I care, but I am very curious why we're going through scenario one, three, then six, five, two, four. Why are we following this direct order? Is it because I'm coming from a non-technical background, or do you think I want to know because when I'm explaining this to other people that are looking to pass this certification, I want to give an educated answer on whether or not this order was created given the context that you have about my professional background, training, and education? Or do you believe that this is actually the more logical order to start, to follow, to have the highest chance of success for non technical professionals or just people in general? All right, so now that we have this information here, the next thing that we're going to go ahead and actually cut through is the multi-agent. Okay, so let's actually go ahead and read this. After running the system on the topic, impact of AI on creative industries, you observe that each sub-agent completes successfully. The web search agent finds relevant articles. The document analysis agent summarizes. The synthesis agent produces coherent output. For starters, in the question, what is the coherent output? What is a synthesis agent? Actually, starting from the very top, what is a web search agent? What is a document analysis agent? Are these custom agents that are put together, or are these actual agents that I would say are standard across the industry? You never want to assume what it is that your people know or don't know. And I think I'm largely doing this for people that are in product management and forward deployed engineering. When you're explaining things, is you want to make sure that you're covering everything so that if JP Morgan or like a Goldman hires you, or a startup hires you, or shit, even if McDonald's hires you to go out there and do AI training for their company, right? And this is actually becoming more and more part of the job. Nobody, it's like when we're in school, they're like, there's no dumb questions. Yeah, but people do care about whether or not they look dumb. So you want to just cover everything because some of the smartest people that you thought were in the room actually don't even know these questions, don't know the answer to these questions, right? And then it's like, however, the final reports cover only visual arts, completely missing music, writing, film production. When you examine the coordinator's logs, you see it decompose in the topic into three subtasks: AI in digital art creation, AI in graphic design, AI in photography. What is most likely the root cause? For this, I got to go out there and ask myself, what do I think the problem is? Okay, after running the system on the topic, impact on it of AI on creative industries, you observe that each sub-agent completes it successfully. The web search agent. So I do know from my previous learnings that agents don't communicate with each other, right? So it sounds to me like there's topics that are missing, and we are trying to go out there and figure out why these topics are missing. What is the coordinator's log? and you're talking about into 3 different subtasks. You see it. What does it decompose the topic? Are we talking about the coordinator's logs? Is that what we're talking about when we're referring to it? The synthesis agent lacks in identifying and receives from other agents. Oh, let me go ahead and do that. The coordinator agent task composition is too narrow. The web search agent queries are not comprehensive enough and need to be expanded to cover more. Okay, the document. Okay. Answers B. The coordinator's log revealed that the root cause directly. It decomposed. Okay. Is decomposed also like a standard term? What does it mean to decompose? Does it mean it deleted something? It decomposed creative industries into only visual arts subtasks, completely omitting music. The subagents executed their assigned task correctly. The problem is what they were assigned. I understand why they chose, to a certain degree, I understand why they chose answer B. And it says the subagents executed their assigned task correctly. The problem is what they were assigned. So who was assigning them the task? Give me a breakdown of this, because this is a new scenario right now, and I'm a little bit confused. So now I'm going to go ahead and take all this info, and I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to pop this bad boy in. Let me answer your context questions. 136524 was designed specifically for your background, but it also happens to be the most logical order for non-technical professionals in general. Here's the reasoning. You can share it when you're explaining. Scenario 1, the highest exam weight touches 60% of all domains. Most familiar business context is customer support, and every analogy anchors to sales and recruiting, which you already know. Start with the stakes where the stakes are the highest and the concepts are most accessible. Scenario 3 second builds directly on scenario 1. Both use the same underlying architecture, coordinator agents, tools. The difference is complexity. Scenario 1 has 1 agent. Scenario 3 has 4. You are not learning a new system. You're expanding on what it is that you just learned. That was freaking helpful AF. Scenario 6 shifts completely to a different problem, the data extraction instead of live agents interaction. By this point, your domain 1 and 2 foundations are solid. You can go ahead and absorb D4, domain 4 concepts cleanly. Scenario 5, fourth, introduces automation. No human present bridges D3 and D4. All right, so to answer your question on both, the order was created knowing your background, and it happens to be the most logical for non-technical professionals generally. The logic is start with the most accessible concepts and the highest exam weight, then expand the architecture step by step, increasing. Got it. Scenario 1 versus scenario 3. Scenario 1, customer support agent, one conversation, one customer at a time. The agent handles the whole interaction. It looks out Scenario 3, multi-agent research. One coordinator managing 4 specialized agents. Okay. And it says like web search agent, synthesis. Okay. Coherent output coordinator. The agent that manages the other agents. So that's kind of like the mothership, coordinator's log, a record. So now I basically have all this info. Oh, I love these charts. All right, let's get it. So now that I have all this context here, I'm going to have all this. I'm going to go back over here. And then I'm going to go over here. I'm going to copy this. So now I have all that information here, which is great, right? I have all that info here. And then the key principles that connect scenario one. Okay, great. So now that I have this, I can start studying. I can start studying. And I'm going to add this in. And then now on to the next.